Welcome to Out of Bounds. This is Mike Lucio. This is episode 8 of Out of Bounds, Return of the Jedi Sith robots.
Last Jedi,
Robot Sith robots. I said to Brandon, what is episode 8 in the Star Wars universe? And he said, Last Jedi?
Last Jedi.
All right, who cares? That's the answer. He's a huge, what do you call it, Trekkie. So we're just making fun of the Trekkie tonight. Hey from Detroit, hey to Owen, welcome to episode 8. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there watching. Happy Columbus Day in the United States. Alex from Detroit. I was talking to a few people on Twitter today. Do you guys actually get the day off over there? Everybody said they had to work in the U.S., so it's one of those things that over here it's a holiday. Well, technically it is a holiday for banks and school board, like holiday, obviously, but everything's open. I don't think anything was. I just drove by Sarah's.
Best Buy was closed. Home Depot was closed.
Oh, and I worked today, time and a half, baby. All right, without further ado, I'm going to bring Brandon in. Tonight's episode, we're just going to freewheel it again tonight, just because of the fact that it is Thanksgiving and we both have turkey comas going on.
Yep.
I did eat quite a bit of turkey. I ate two turkey dinners yesterday. Turkey brunch, I guess you would call it, at the parents'. And then I stayed for Sunday Night Football, so I had turkey again.
Did you cook it? Any of it?
No, fuck.
See, I am the cook. I am the turkey guy at the house.
Dropped an F-bomb
I cook the turkey at the house. So.
I almost dropped an F-bomb.
Yesterday, they all went to go and do some apple picking, and they went and looked at blueberries, and they left me in the kitchen.
That's what I did. Picking blueberries.
Well,
this family gets weird, man. Like,
that's all right. Let them. Enjoy. Go and enjoy.
Yeah. So this was my contribution to Thanksgiving dinner. Obviously, Alex and Dan stopped by yesterday, and I had them deliver me some boombox pastries. That was about the extent. So Uncle Rocket here, all he does is buy what he needs. But I did talk to. So I was talking to my wife, Cindy. You guys know my wife, Cindy, and my son, Noah. He comes on occasion. But she says, you need to get a hobby, so I am going to start cooking. I think that's going to be a relaxing thing for me, because I do love food. I'm a foodie, and it'll give me something to do anyways. Like, I always take my work home with me, and that kind of thing. So
now, I know that's sorry, and I know we're just killing time before we actually get into the topics and stuff. But if you're are you gonna specialize in something, or are you gonna cook in? So just everything. So it's not going to be like Middle Eastern food or Mediterranean food or Mexican.
No. So for those of you that don't know, my wife and I live in an apartment. We've been looking to buy a house, and the main reason I want a pool. I would love to have a pool because I love to swim. My lifeguard's sitting here with us right now, Luke. He's my personal lifeguard. But I cook for Thanksgiving. Yeah, who cares?
Alex, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so who cares, Alex? Like, it's not a peeing contest here. Like, for you chefs. I can't believe I almost dropped an F-bomb.
You did. So you got really close.
Did you make the No.
Who does that?
My mom's a horrible cook, and she did it. Like, that's But no, that's the thing. Like, we've been looking for a house, and. We're looking for a house just so that I can have a pool. That's the main thing, and I can barbecue and I don't even mean barbecue. I'm a meat guy, so I want a smoker.
Yeah.
So I really want a smoker to do, like, I love brisket, I love ribs, I love. I'm not a big pulled pork guy.
You can do chicken wings on
everything in the smoker. Everything, whatever you want, shrimp, fish, doesn't matter. But that's my thing. I want to be able to throw parties and have
Are you willing to invest that amount of time? Because smoking stuff takes a long time to do.
As far as I know, you get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and throw it in, and then get up at 11 a.m. like I usually do, and it's done.
Okay, all right.
That sounds like an easy thing for me. If it starts on fire, it's outside. Like, the pool's right there. Like, Cindy comes in screaming, I just kick it into the pool.
That's right.
Fire's out. All right, guys. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Our 10-minute misconducts. As you guys notice, I don't want to say it's an I told you so, because I don't like to rub it in when someone gets hurt.
It's an I told you so.
It's an I told you so with Dak Prescott. We've got the Dak injury we're gonna touch on here. For those of you who didn't see it, I almost threw up in my mouth. I can't watch this stuff anymore. I've gotten hurt so many times in my life playing sports with ankles, like that's what it was.
Yeah.
Broken arms I've had, getting my teeth knocked out, everything you can think of. Right. I took a line drive, playing shortstop. I was on it, right on top of it. Line drive comes at me, hits something on the diamond like a stone. Shot up. Just went above my glove. Bounced off my forearm and hit me right in the forehead. I actually had, Cindy still got pictures of it, I actually have the stitches from the ball indented into my forehead for about a week. That's crazy. Alex, the Bears played on Thursday night. They beat the mighty Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, by what, a point?
Yeah, they punched Tom Brady right in the butthole. That's what they did. Yeah, right,
that would hurt.
Like with the knuckle out like this, like
an intrusive butthole punch.
Yeah, so Dak Prescott's injury. I'm talking about injuries that I've sustained. If you guys want to tell us what your worst injury you've ever had playing a sport is up on the chat, we'd love to hear it because we like making fun of it. I'm just kidding. Like, getting injuries is never funny. But we turned away from the game. My dad and I were watching something else and turned back, and all of a sudden. You turn it back on and you hear the announcers talking with such a somber voice, and it's like, oh, like we don't know, like, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So I checked Twitter real quick, and Twitter's all over it, like his career's over.
Yep.
Everybody jumped to the worst conclusion, obviously. We're hearing now, Brandon just mentioned as he came in, that it looks like his season's obviously done. Yes. But they're saying he could make a full recovery. They
said he should. The official diagnosis is that he's got a compound fracture, which means that the bone actually came out of the skin.
So that's what they're talking about.
And then they said his ankle was dislocated. But on the replay, did you see how he slammed it? He slammed his ankle against the ground to try to get it back into place. Did you see that part? Oh, okay.
But I feel terrible for Dak Prescott in one way. I get that he loves playing football, and you could really tell. He was crying on the way off the field, not because he was hurt. Like, it might have had the pain, had to do something. I think he was in shock, so yes. It didn't matter. It looked like he was fine, really, but obviously he wasn't. But he was visibly in tears because of the fact that I think he knew how serious it was and that it might be over.
Yes, I would agree with that.
So Dak Prescott bet on himself. If you're betting on your ability, that's one thing. But if you're betting on something that you don't have a control over, like your health, at any moment this can happen in a game like football. That's why we thought in our very first episode of Out of Bounds, we said Dak Prescott's an idiot.
Yes.
He turned down a deal that was very fair in value.
I believe it was $110 million guaranteed, I think.
Yeah, so I don't think Dak Prescott sees that money ever again in his career now, coming off that horrific injury. So yes, he probably has enough to live his life, but if he wanted to set up his grandkids, I don't think that's happening now. He's also going into free agency, so he's going to get looked at probably, maybe not next year, but the year after. They'll probably give him a full year for a recoup. But will we see him as a starter in the NFL again? Things change so fast, I think he might be done.
Will you see him as a Cowboy?
You will not see him as a Dallas Cowboy ever again. I don't think so.
You think they're going to stick with...
well, no, they'll find somebody. They're not going to stick with Andy Dalton. Good. But Andy Dalton did look okay.
He did.
Luckily for the Cowboys, that division is in complete turmoil.
Shambles, yeah, it's a shambles.
I believe Philadelphia was leading the division at 1-3-1.
Yeah.
You're leading a division with one win. That's absolutely embarrassing. I thought the Giants looked pretty good yesterday, but then Old Man Vegas came in and scooped that one away. Another game that we need to talk about, getting off topic here, we always do this, but going back to the fact that you guys need to stop gambling on sports because Old Man Vegas came in and took that win away from Minnesota last night, too. We watched the Sunday night football game. Man, just unbelievable.
I don't believe it's Old Man Vegas. I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist. I think that it really has to do with the ability for teams to coach, and when you're ahead by such an amount, it's easy for teams to let off the gas. And I think as teams let off the gas, you build momentum. And I'm not even a big thing like a momentum. I'm not even sure I believe in momentum, but I believe that there is something that gets into the head of players, and as as they start to see teams creep up, then the panic starts to set in, and we're going to blow this, and then all of a sudden you start making mistakes. And I don't think it has anything to do with someone saying, okay, make sure you call that pass interference into the ref's ear to make sure that another team gets an advantage. I don't buy into the Vegas theory, but
because he's wrong.
Well,
he's not willing to admit it.
I'm not. No, I just don't. I don't.
So there was a couple occasions where Vegas made a ton of money yesterday. Kansas City going up huge early on in the game against the Las Vegas Raiders. Everybody dumps money on Kansas City because they think it's going to be a rout, and then boom, Las Vegas just destroys them.
But I would have expected that people would have bet on Kansas City in the first place anyway, because you're not betting against Patrick Mahomes.
But what you can do is you can parlay.
Sure.
So
you hedge the bet.
That's right. They throw more money in on a parlay or hedge it, and everybody loses. Trust me. That happened. The thing that has me concerned about the Minnesota Seattle game last night is there was a call on the field that they didn't even review. I think it was something to do with it was really late in the game. I want to say a touchdown or a non-touchdown situation. The booth has to call for the review, and it was so close they didn't even bother. So what's going on here? Like I don't understand. Like why does it only matter at some point? You know, it's just one of those things that it didn't make any sense that they didn't review this play because it was definitely. It was whether to do with it was a catch or a non-catch, and the thing about it was, the reason it mattered, and this is why it mattered. Seattle actually scored. I believe they did score. The guy broke the plane, and then the ball went through the plane. Yep. Like he fumbled through the end zone.
Yep.
They called it a non-catch, but they didn't even review it. He took 2 steps, and the ball broke the plane before he dropped it. That's a catch to me. So the reason it matters, and you're saying, well, Seattle won anyways. Yes.
But was he bobbling the ball?
No, it looked like he had
full.
Either way,
control?
Either way, it's a reviewable play.
Yes. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Okay. So my issue with it is it happened with like 35, 40 seconds left in the game. Okay. So the last play that happened where they did actually finally get in, there was no time left on the clock. So they went up a point. So if there was time left on the clock, Minnesota still almost got downfield in time to kick a field goal. But if they would have had that extra like 25 seconds, I think they could have actually done it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, why didn't they review that play? But anyways, it's hearsay. We're talking about gambling and sports.
I don't think that's Vegas, though. I don't think that's Vegas doing that.
But you got to review a play like that. The officiating, the inconsistency in every sport is really getting questioned. And it's also feeding into people like me and conspiracies about. I think officiating across a whole has been terrible. I don't watch baseball. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Are they playing the World Series yet? I think they're in the playoffs still, right?
They're in the playoffs.
I don't care. So what the baseball players, I don't care what's going on. I'm telling you that straight up. So I don't know if the officiating or the umpiring's bad in that. I don't know.
But how do you? I mean, there's always been an element of human error in the officiating.
So, but you do say that, but with the human error is why they brought in the booth review.
Yes.
So you have it at it's one of your tools that you can use. Why are you not using it?
I think one of the things that they talked about is that if you're constantly going up for reviews, then it turns into you drag the game on, you lose viewership, and then it all comes down to dollars and cents. It's why baseball wants to get the pitchers throwing pitches as fast as they can.
I get that.
And they want to move the game along because people don't want to sit through a 5-hour baseball game.
But you know what I didn't want to watch yesterday is Dak Prescott laying on a field with his ankle turned backwards.
Yeah. You should, honestly, I know that you said it made you feel sick, but you should watch when he...
I did see it.
When he he picks his ankle up and goes whack against the canvas. The turf, and then he, I imagine he did more damage there than the actual twisting of his ankle trying to put that back in. It was a disaster.
One thing I did like about it, if there's anything to like about it, it's the outpouring of support that he did get from all across all leagues. He was getting support from everybody in the NFL and from other leagues as well, and celebrities and such. Dak Prescott, I hope your ankle gets better. You're probably not watching. Well, maybe he is. He's lay up in a hospital. These guys were making fun of you for not taking the contract. You got to see what they're saying now. But anyways,
check episode 1.
It's something you don't want to see in sports with Dak Prescott getting hurt that bad, but it did happen. I wish he would have took the contract, man. Your family would have been set for life, but now everything's up in the air.
Yes. All right. Free agent signing. Busy day. Busy last couple of days,
Just
right?
before we came on the air, we did know that Pietrangelo was going to Las Vegas, but it was made official about 7:45 tonight.
Okay, I did not even know that.
$8.8 million a year. So the original price they were talking about was 8.3 or 8.25. I guess he milked him for an extra $500,000. Is this a deal that's going to kill him in the end? I think it was a 7 year. 7 or 8? No,
I don't know. I did not.
It can't be an 8-year deal, but I think it was a 7 year. Anybody out there want to confirm that for us? What the term was on that? If you're listening along, if you are listening along, tell us what you think of the deal so far. Another big signing today that has everybody in Montreal. Like, I'm a Montreal fan.
Yep.
I'm not a fan. Okay, I support the team. I don't like to be grouped with fans because I think fans are the problem. Fans, anybody can be a fan, but uneducated fans are a problem to me. I'm not educated by any means; it's all opinion. But I'm not my team's going to win it every year guy, But
I have a question: if Montreal did win, would you go to the parade?
I think if Montreal makes the Stanley Cup Finals, I'm going to Montreal for
at least a game.
The week, probably.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna make my way into that arena.
You sound like a fan.
No, but I'm at a point in my life where I could probably do that.
Okay.
I could probably afford to do that, so it's one of those things why not? The last time they won a Stanley Cup, I was 11.
Right.
Now I'm 38. 27 years. Maybe it's another 27 years before they do it again. I might not be here.
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean? So it's just that's just the way I would look at it. It might be the only time I get to see it. So, and I've supported him for so long. Why wouldn't you do that? But I do have a guy that comes in the shop all the time, John. He did say that if they did win the cup, we would drive down and watch the parade for sure.
Good.
And I'll be like, I'll meet you there, man. I'll already be there. Montreal is the best city in North America. For those of you that don't know, hockey. Non-hockey related, it is the Paris of Canada for sure. Beautiful city.
Oh, the architecture there is amazing.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
If you've never been there, definitely check it out.
So back to the free agents. Do you think that Vegas is better set up now to win a Stanley Cup with?
No. So Vegas had a hard time. 7-year contract. Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew. Yeah.
I did think it was. I thought it was 7. It couldn't have been 8 because I think he's only allowed to sign 8 years with his former team, which would have been St. Louis, and there's a deadline to do so. So I knew it wasn't 8. I thought it was 6 or 7. Brandon's asked me, do I think Vegas is better set up to win a championship now than what they were? A glaring no. And the reason for that being is that they just got rid of their second line center with Stastny.
Yep.
Cody Glass, I think he's going to be a great player. I did not know that Cody Glass had 2 knee surgeries, though. That was kind of a hush-hush thing. They didn't really make that available to everybody. But Cody Glass had minor knee surgeries, and he's going to have to assume the second center role. That's something that's a tough spot to fill on a team where in the playoffs they struggled to score. And now they're putting that on a kid.
You're a true rookie.
And you've actually spent all your money improving your defense. So does Pietrangelo probably help on the power play? Yes, but in the long term, over 6-7 years, I don't think Pietrangelo. I think the back end of that deal is going to be horrible.
I think it does too. I think that's not a good thing where they're paying.
I believe he's in his 30s or 30 years old now. Obviously, defenseman, it's a whole different ballgame. Like Chara's 43, still playing.
Yep.
Not currently on a team though. But Shea Weber's still pretty productive, but he's I think 3 years older than Pietrangelo.
You can be a quality shutdown defenseman in the NHL in the upper ages. I think as you get into...
But those guys can't make $8.8 million.
No. You have to find a way to hack off the contract on the back end.
Yes.
Give them a decreasing value on the back end of that contract. Pay them up front right now, but then lower that stuff so it's not so big of a cap.
But the idea is that teams will sign these free agents long term because they expect the cap to keep rising and rising.
Yes.
But we don't know right now because with COVID, we don't know when arenas finally open up to fans again. Are the fans going to go back right away?
Right.
In Canada, probably not. In Toronto, yes, because maybe
they've been starved for hockey.
Yes, maybe they're not playing with a full deck there. I don't know. I'm just saying it. But they would the risk-reward situation for people in Toronto where COVID is rampant, I don't think they care. It's just the reality of it. But in places like Calgary, Winnipeg, Vancouver, Edmonton, are the fans going to go back? They have.
I bet in Vancouver they would. I think that there's not as much this nonsense happening out in Vancouver as there is in Ontario and Quebec.
And Quebec's bad, so Montreal, I'm sure their fans would go back. But we're getting kind of off topic here.
I want to know what you think of the Taylor Hall signing.
Taylor Hall's a complete idiot.
I think it's a smart play.
Taylor Hall's going to come out this year. Taylor Hall's riding on Dak Prescott mythology right now. Dak Prescott ideology, sorry. He's going to prove it. So, guess what, Taylor? In that division, you're playing for Buffalo. Now, mind you, the divisions might get changed this year. They're talking about having an all-Canadian division so that they don't have to travel across the border and they can bubble. But, Taylor, you're playing against teams like Montreal now, and I'm going to get to this. Montreal, Boston, you're playing in the division with Tampa Bay. Who else is in there? There's good hockey teams in there. Teams that are going to hit you. You're running the risk. You're already an injury-prone player. You're running the risk of getting injured again against those teams, especially if you're lining up on left wing. You're now going up. So Montreal, they just signed Tyler Toffoli, big hockey player, big, like 6'3", big dude. Anderson, who runs people through the boards when he's healthy. Taylor Hall's got to go against those two guys 8 times. Yep. Well, in a full season, I believe it's 6 times now. But he's not going to have a good night against those guys.
I think that Taylor Hall has positioned himself to prove himself by going to for just signing for the 1-year deal. It gives him the opportunity to be the guy on a team and then leave, and it also sets a I was going to say Minnesota. He didn't go to Minnesota. Where the hell did he go? Buffalo. It sets Buffalo up to get something in return for him if they trade him at the trade deadline.
Yes, so I don't know. I don't think he's got a no movement clause or anything like that. So Buffalo might be thinking, because Buffalo's not going to make the playoffs. No. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Jack Eichel was pretty happy that they signed him, though.
Yeah, Jack Eichel's probably happy. Their power play is going to be, they got a little bit of a bump on that. But Taylor Hall, we run the numbers because one of the other teams he was mentioned to go to or rumored to go to was Montreal, and we dodged a huge bullet by not signing him. And I'm going to tell you why. $8 million is a joke.
The only thing about that I don't like is the number that they signed him for. $8 million. I don't know why anyone would want to take a shot on a player for 1 year for $8 million in this day and age when there is no revenue coming in and you know that that's going to be a major cap hit.
Yeah, so Buffalo, this makes absolutely no sense for them. No fans in the stands. He's not going to draw you a dime, okay? It doesn't make any sense to pay him $8 million for a team that's already struggling to put people in the seats. If there was people coming back to the games, yes, you go out and get a star because they want to come see something.
Yep.
But they bought this guy for nothing in the hopes that they'll make the playoffs, which they will not do. Buffalo will have a terrific start in October to mid-November like they always do, and then play like 300 hockey from there on out.
Yeah,
they'll win 3 out of 10 games for the rest of the season every year. It's like the never-ending story that it just keeps repeating itself. Best value so far, I think, is the Tyler Toffoli, 4.25 for a guy that's scored over 20 3 times. Also hit 30 once.
What did Torrey Krug contract cost? He was only 4, I think.
So I believe he got $7 million range.
7? I thought he was less than that. I thought he was.
No. Torrey Krug, he went to St. Louis, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
I think it was 7-7.
Okay,
7 years.
I thought he got less than that.
We got 1 minute left, and obviously you're waiting for us to talk about the major signing that really affects us the most. TJ Brody going to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I like the signing.
I'm extremely disappointed in it, actually.
I like the signing.
TJ, you took the money, dude. Maybe that was the only team offering that kind of money, but it's clearly not to win. You're leaving a situation where you're probably better set up to win in Calgary than going to Toronto. Toronto fans thinking that he's the second coming of Bobby Orr are going to have a rude awakening. TJ, I love the guy. He's a pretty good hockey player, but he does have his faults like most hockey players. He benefited greatly from having Giordano back him up for years, and he's going to be exposed in Toronto, I think. this is real talk, folks. Like the guy, you know, he could walk in my shop tomorrow. He's local, you know what I mean, and try and punch me in the face. But
yeah.
I'm just telling the truth here. I think he took the money, which is okay. Like he's closer to home too.
Why would you not?
Maybe if they were the only ones offering that kind of money, then good on him. I'm not upset with you, man. But if it was about winning, you didn't go to the right team.
All right. Topic 3.
League's wrapping up. So most of you know the NBA Finals finished last night with Braun getting his championship.
A lot of GOAT talk out there again. A lot of GOAT talk.
Are you kidding me?
This guy, well, you said he's been doing it for 17 years. No one's done it longer than him.
Good. No one's also lost 6 championships. Obviously there have been guys lose 6 championships, but his winning percentage in the finals is not impressive, folks. Like he's 4-6. But he's been there 10 times,
and he's also been the Finals MVP 10 times or 4 times too, right?
So. Okay, so when he goes, he wins. Like when he goes and his team wins, he's the centerpiece.
He gets the credit for it.
Big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is it really that important that you're Finals MVP? No, you still got to win the damn games as a team. He's not out there by himself, folks.
Well, tell that to Jimmy Butler. He single-handedly won Game 5
yes,
for them.
I get that. But what I'm saying, though, is if Jimmy Butler had a guy like Anthony Davis running shotgun with him, that finals might have been a lot different,
It changes the dynamic of the game.
Well, 2 of his other teammates were also hurt. And then Tyler Herro was okay, but he's a rookie.
Yep.
So, Jimmy Butler beat them single-handedly almost twice. So,
yep.
How good are the Lakers really?
I was actually surprised to see Rondo play as well as he did, because he looked like he actually knew what he was doing again.
Am I the only one out there that thinks Rondo looks like he's on crack?
We might have to bring that up on an image, and we'll we'll see. We'll have to do a comparison. But basketball, I was glad basketball wrapped up last night. I didn't want to go to a Game 7.
No, I don't think anybody did. If you're out there watching right now, if you are watching, give us the old thumbs up on the like there. If you're watching on the replay, also let us know what you think. This is Out of Bounds. Take a quick shout out to Out of Bounds here. Out of Bounds, we have 5 10-minute misconducts. We do talk about the subjects that we do talk about subjects that other people are talking about, but we give an honest opinion on it. We're not afraid to pull punches here, or we're not going to pull punches. But we're talking right now about leagues wrapping up. So we're touching on the NBA because it was the looks like a gargoyle. It looks like he's hungry. You know what I mean? Somebody feed that guy.
Yeah.
So leagues wrapping up right now. NBA just got done. Major League Baseball
will be wrapping up shortly
in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Hockey just finished up. So what's there going to be to watch? So we've got the NFL still going for now.
I don't think it's going to last. I really don't.
We have talked about this on previous episodes of Out of Bounds, but it's becoming a reality. What are you guys going to do for entertainment now that 3 of the 4 major leagues are done?
Well, and look at the NFL. The NFL is shifting games. I think they've shifted 5 games, I think. You've got teams now playing week 8, and then week 8 is now moved to week 7, and there's a whole whack of things that are happening in the NFL that I really think that they're going to run out of time. They're going to have to extend the season.
I do like the idea that they are going to push an extra week on the end of the season, and it's for divisional matchups.
Yeah.
So if you have say somebody like the Cowboys and the Eagles that are tied in the standings, and there's no legit tie. Let's just say it's basically a divisional championship game to represent your division. Okay, so all right, so Ryan is chiming in that they're talking about a 2-week extension. So that makes perfect sense. There's going to be teams that need those 2 weeks because of Tennessee being one of them.
Yes.
New
England's going to need it too.
New England's going to need it as well, and you're going to see more teams get shut down through the week. The Bears, I'm a Bears fan. The Bears had a practice squad team member show up with COVID today, so they sent him home, but they completely shut everything down.
Yeah.
But if one's got it, probably 10 have it. Let's be honest. So will the Bears play this week? And it's they're against Carolina. Who knows, right?
What I'll be curious to see is if they give it the Cam Newton treatment. You know what I mean? If an O lineman gets COVID and is the only one to test on the Bears, are they going to move the game because of the O lineman? versus someone like...
What I don't understand is that Cam Newton gets it, and they still play the game.
Yeah.
Okay? So they play with their backup, and then a couple other guys get it, and they're like, okay, finally, we'll shut it down. Why didn't you shut it down when the first guy had it? So now you played a game without Cam, a game that from all reports, Kansas City was horrible in that game.
Yes, and they lost.
The Patriots probably would have won that game with
Cam Newton. Yeah.
So it's one of those things. Now it's all out of whack. I don't know what they're going to do.
Well, that game could cost New England a wild card spot. Like, I don't think they're going to win the division, but it could cost them a wild card spot.
I don't think they're going to beat Buffalo. Period. So here's something interesting though. We're talking about leagues wrapping up here, so we're talking about the NFL having to push back some of the games maybe. If we want to talk NFL for a minute here, Kansas City, are they really that good?
I don't think so.
The Vegas just went in and punched them right in the teeth.
Yeah, Derek Carr was the first.
The prior week, the Patriots took them to the limit with a backup.
Yeah.
So they're sitting at 4-1 right now, I believe, but they could very realistically be 3-2, which makes them an average football team, in my opinion. They looked horrible in the last two games. They got lucky and won one of them. But are they really going to be able to beat a team like Pittsburgh, who's rolling right now?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Pittsburgh's got it going on with Big Ben again. I don't think Kansas City beats Buffalo. Again, there's a lot of teams in the league right now that aren't firing on all cylinders. My Bears are 4-1. They haven't looked good at all.
Right. What are the Packers right
now? Packers are 4-0. They had their bye week this week.
Yeah.
But coming out of the bye week, I can't remember who they're playing, but the Bears have Carolina this week. Carolina's 3-2 or 2-2.
And they're without McCaffrey, right?
Yeah, no McCaffrey. But Carolina's never an easy game. It is what it is. The Lions didn't lose this week. They were on a bye.
Yep. That's the only time they're not losing.
Have they fired their coach yet?
Not yet.
Dan Quinn fired in the Atlanta.
Yep.
He should have been fired after the Super Bowl where he didn't run the ball with like 7 minutes left and they're up 18 points or something. That's just Bush League, or it's fixed. Let's be honest.
I know you. I got to watch my Patriots win a championship, so I'm totally happy with it.
All right, so we're talking about leagues wrapping up, and I wanted to have some fun with this segment, but we went off the rails with the NFL. But with leagues wrapping up, is there a TV show that you watch through the winter that, or is there a show right now that you're going to try and watch now that there's no sports?
So actually, I just started rewatching Supernatural.
Okay. So he's going back to a classic. He's going to watch Supernatural. Luke, what are you watching?
Anything that's on.
Thanks for helping out, Luke.
Anything that's on. All right.
Thanks for giving us something specific.
What about you? What do you got?
So last year for me it was The Masked Singer. I really got into The Masked Singer, but I can't do it this year. Like 1 year was enough. I tried it. I had the Forbidden Fruit, and I'm like, yeah, it was fun while it lasted, and it kind of fizzled off for me. So there's a few things I'm trying to get a hold of. It's a Showtime show, so I'm for some of you out there, maybe I wanted to be a comedian when I was growing up. So there's actually a documentary on, I think it's a docu-series, I believe they call it. It's called The Comedy Store, and it's on Showtime. Comedy Store is an actual venue in Los Angeles that I seen it when we were out there. They talked about it on our tour and whatnot. But David Letterman, Jay Leno, Freddie Prinze, Whoopi Goldberg, Michael Keaton, they all came from the Comedy Store. They all got discovered there, went on to The Tonight Show. It's a pretty cool J.J. Walker. Dynamite! So it's a pretty cool documentary, and they talk about what things are really like out there. David Letterman's talking about how he was like a raging alcoholic while he was there. Like, serious stuff. Drugs were rampant in Los Angeles in the 70s.
Almost sounds like a CBGB's to what like rock is. Like,
pretty much, yeah. So the comedy scene back in the 70s and 80s was like drugs everywhere.
Yeah.
Like Eddie Murphy comes in the 80s like delirious, and he's so much cocaine flying around in those days.
You would have had John Belushi, you would have had Rodney Dangerfield, you would have had whack of guys, right? So
I'm really looking for that. I've got a Fire Stick and I can't find it on there, and I've been kind of flipping through Showtime like every night to see if it comes on late. Pretty interesting stuff, especially if you like comedy. Some of the other stuff maybe I'm watching with no sports. Black Monday is a really good show with Don Cheadle. Again, not on the Fire Stick. I can't find it. Well, it seems like everything that's on Showtime is kind of missing from the Fire Stick. But,
so outside of Supernatural, the only other show that I would consider watching would be The Boys. You seen The Boys?
Barbecue Pitmasters. Yes. So Alex, The Boys. I'm probably going to tune into that. You know what's funny about The Boys though? I keep seeing the previews for it, and I'm like, I really want to watch that show. But the lead actor, I thought, since day one, since I seen him, was Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell.
Who? Huey? Or Homelander, the guy Homelander.
The guy with the slick back blonde hair.
Oh, that's Homelander.
I thought for sure that was Zach Morris.
That is not Mark Paul Gosselaar.
I thought it was, man. I'm like, what's he doing? He's like, no, where's Screech at?
Yeah, no. But did you know that they're actually doing a remake of that?
I think so.
Yeah, Saved by the Bell. Yeah. They're all supposed to be parents. Right?
Barbecue Pitmasters. I do watch that as well, Alex. I get it on Destination America, and I watch it once in a while. A little bit more a sad topic to get to.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball legends are literally dropping like flies.
I tried to look this up when you sent me the topics today, and I was like, Major League. I was looking on ESPN to see, did someone die recently? Because the last person I thought to die was Lou Brock from the Cubs and Cardinals.
Since Lou Brock died, we've had Bob Gibson. We've had today, I believe, from the Big Red Machine, Joe Morgan.
Okay.
So everybody knows Joe Morgan more for his commentator.
Pete Rose
for the Hall of Fame. That's right. Let me just give you a list here real quick.
Like I got a couple of guys. I got Tony Fernandez died in February.
Yep.
I got Whitey Ford died October 11th. I've got
3 days ago.
Yeah, I got Al Kaline who died in April, and then Lou Brock, he would have died September.
I'm just trying to find I had a list here of the players that recently died, and it was
do we know what they're dying from?
Just all mixed. Nobody's been COVID. Nobody's been COVID.
That they're reporting or that we know.
Joe Morgan today. Whitey Ford 3 days ago. It's just been unbelievable how many Major League Baseball legends, and I'm not talking like just guys that played. I'm talking about perennial all-stars. Guys that what's his name too? The pitcher for the Mets. He just died.
The pitcher for the Mets that just died.
Come on, I'm having a brain fart here. Baseball players dying recently. Sorry.
Pitcher for the Mets. I don't even know who you're talking about.
Why is this not coming up? Tom Seaver. Sorry. Tom Seaver.
Oh, we talked about that like a couple weeks ago. Yeah, we talked about it a couple
weeks ago.
Yeah, okay.
But it's alarming. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart here. I'm trying to use my phone to look stuff up. But he did mention Tony Fernandez, Tom Seaver. Just an unbelievable list of Al Kaline within the last year.
He died in April.
So you're looking at a ton of players in the last maybe 6 months that have passed away. All different age ranges. Whitey Ford being the oldest. I think he was 91.
Yeah, he was an old guy. Yeah.
Whitey Ford obviously made it quite a while, but Joe Morgan today, 77, I believe. Joe Morgan also famous for doing commentary. He was a commentator, I believe, on Fox. Yeah, so Andrew brings up the point, if he was a Hall of Famer, he'd be hiding in his basement right now. So for those of you that don't know, I own Rocket Sports Cards. I do buy, sell, and trade sports cards for a living, among other things. Collectible related. I don't do anything other than that. But what happens when a player dies, their autographs just hit a huge spike.
Right. So
I don't like having this conversation with people, but we did mention on singles night, Guy Lafleur, unfortunately, his cancer has returned.
Yes, and it does not look good, yeah.
It does not look good, lung cancer. So what happens, people go out there and literally snipe these autographs with the purpose of selling them once a player dies. So I've always had this conversation with a couple people that come in, like, who's next? So if you're looking to cash, I don't do this, but there are people that do it. Like, I find it in very poor taste. Dale Howardchuk died. We sold some of his stuff just because people wanted it, because it was relevant at the time. But we didn't raise the prices. We just made it available to them. Autographs for like $20, which is market or below market. Obviously below market at that time because the stuff was $100. You know, people were panicking to get an autograph.
Right.
But we've had this conversation, basically like a death watch. Who do you? It's not funny, but it is reality, especially when you can profit from it, and people do. So who? Not to jinx anybody, but who do you think we should be watching out for?
I'm thinking football players. I'm thinking guys who have retired who have had concussions that are going to die. Off the top of my head, someone who's retired. I don't know why, but Gronkowski keeps popping into my head. That guy treats his body like a roller coaster, and I'm sure he's got multiple concussions. But I can't see him.
To sustain a concussion, one would think you need a brain.
Well,
and I don't think Gronk really has one.
He's got something moving those arms and legs.
Yeah, it's just
can't
reflexes.
Spike that ball without a brain. I don't know. It's kind of a morbid.
My brother comes to me. I don't think he's watching, but my brother comes to me the other day saying he picked up a Hank Aaron autograph. Mm-hmm. If I'm a baseball fan and I don't have one yet, I'm buying Hank Aaron autographs. You can tell by his signature. Things are starting to fade a little bit. He is quite a bit older. Who knows? Maybe he lasts another 10 years, but I wouldn't be surprised in the next 4 to 5 years we hear his name called.
Right.
Maybe sooner. And he is one of the biggest legends in baseball history.
Yeah.
So if you can do so affordably, an autograph of a Hank Aaron, like his stuff's not cheap already, but it's just one of those things like the prospecting for death, basically.
It's just that's a hard question to answer.
It's a hard question to answer.
I mean, it could be a car accident. It could be drug related. It could be Like
let's say natural causes and or
well, then now you're talking retired players.
Retired players, yes.
So let me think here. I'm thinking baseball, and I'm thinking guys who are like crazy overweight, like Vlad Guerrero Sr.
Vlad Sr.'s not overweight, is he?
Oh yeah.
I didn't think Vladdy was over. His son's overweight.
I'm thinking like Prince Fielder, like because he's a big dude too. Like these are guys who have put their bodies through the ringer and they're carrying a ton of weight on them.
Hockey, it's obviously easier for us to go hockey. But Guy Lafleur, obviously with the current situation, this is a horrible thing to talk about, really. But it is reality. It is reality. Like we might not see, and you're thinking to yourself, why are so many Major League Baseball legends dying? Because we're in the age of television, right? So for the last 30 years, television and everything's evolved, the internet. So literally these were stars that were stars in the print and television era, and now they're stars in the print, television, media, social media era, and they're just more relevant to people now because information's out there. So now somebody that's 25 years old all of a sudden can see every single major league thing that Hank Aaron's done.
Yeah.
So Hank Aaron's more relevant now to a whole generation of other fans than what he would have been in the past. So that's why we're seeing so many of these legends, because they're still legends, and they won't let them die in the spotlight is what I'm trying to say. So as we get older, 21-year-old me that was playing baseball was like, oh, Hank Aaron's like 55 years old. Yes. He's never going to die.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. Is that
so? It's because we're getting older, and these people that have become relevant due to media and television, we're going to start to see all of them die. It's like Eddie Van Halen died. He wasn't young by any means. He's 65 years old, which isn't old by any means. But the guy lived a hard lifestyle. Like rock and roll was a hard lifestyle.
Yeah.
Again, like celebrities, you're like, oh, I can't believe that actor died at 85. Well, you've been watching him for 40 years in movies. Like if he's an 80s star, that's 40 years ago now. That's what we're saying. Like the guy's been on your television screen for 40 years. He's got to die eventually.
What I'm going to be curious about is as we get older and we see this generation of younger players coming up who will become the new legends. I wonder what that will look like for us when we are in our 60s, 70s, if we're going to care that much about sports and care about the legends of yesteryear now, because you and I are middle aged now, so I'm curious to know what that would look like 20 years from now if we'll actually care at all.
We won't care, and I'll tell you why. Because we probably won't even have professional sports in 20 years. let's face it, folks. People aren't going to games anymore. We've talked about attendance being down across all sports. Attendance is definitely down in football. The football's having a really hard time. If it wasn't for television deals, there would be no professional sports.
We did do an out of bounds thing. We talked about attendance being down.
Attendance is down across all sports. They basically priced themselves out of the average person's pocket, basically. So they need to go back to the drawing board and figure out how do we get people in. And I think the way to get people in is cheaper tickets. They have to hit the reset button because things don't even out. Yes, you're getting billions of dollars in television deals that gets divided amongst the owners, which the owners can then pay the players with. But if a guy's making $30 million, TV should be paying for that, not the fans. You get what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but you look for
how much more do you want from me? Do you I'm already going out to buy a car because I've seen a commercial for it. I can't afford to go to a game if it's $100 to see a baseball game.
But they look at every single revenue stream that they have. They want to pick as much of the revenue as they can.
I totally get that, but what I'm saying is that if you want fans back in the arenas, the stadiums, the ballparks, you got to lower your ticket prices. Maybe not in cities, maybe not in the Meccas, maybe not in the New Yorks, LAs, Torontos, Montreals for hockey, but I'm talking the city of Detroit specifically, if I'm being specific. Nobody's got any money. The auto industry's flailing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the clientele that used to prop you up, and there's no money there anymore. So it's just one of those things. But Major League Legends currently passing away at an alarming rate. Don't be discouraged. Don't think it's like a pandemic. We're in a pandemic, obviously, but don't think it's something that's unnatural. It's just the fact that we're getting older, and so are they.
Yep.
You're going to see it happen a lot. The people that we cheer or used to cheer for as kids, they're in their 60s and 70s now. It's one of those things. But yeah, it's going to happen more and more. So.
Okay, last topic. Team Canada 2020. If they have the Olympics, you threw this topic. 2022. What are we thinking?
During free agent period, during the free agent special on the Toronto Sports Network, I like to call it, they put up what their projected lineup for Team Canada would look like at the 2022. Because obviously, if you watch Trade Day and you watch the free agent specials, nothing really happens. They sit around for 7-8 hours for 3 or 4 things to happen.
Yes.
And it's usually uneventful. So they need to fill time with something.
Like popcorn, or not popcorn, like pancake armpits.
Yeah, we need some more. But anyways, I did see the projected lineup for Team Canada for 2022.
All right.
And it is not a gold medal lineup, in my opinion. Hockey Canada is in some serious problems right now. I get that we have a ton of good players, but we don't have a ton of elite players anymore. And if you really want to, if I could bring up this, I don't have the graphic with me right now, but if you look at the left side of the defense projected for Team Canada for 2022, they had Shea Theodore as our top defenseman. And a lot of you out there are probably saying, who the hell is Shea Theodore? I know him because I deal with hockey every day, but I never once thought of the guy as
Team
a number
Canada.
one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The days of us having Keith and Seabrook and Doughty and Weber and Petrolangelo, who's getting older, and all these guys, they're not going to be there.
Well, Cale Makar should.
Cale Makar was on the list, but Cale Makar is an offensive defenseman.
But I think in the Olympics, they play much more wide open in the Olympics because of the larger ice surface.
But what I'm saying though is, why do you need an offensive defenseman when you have the best forwards in the planet? You just have a guy that can make the first pass. That's all you need.
I think it just makes you a little more dangerous when you know that if you've got their defense worrying about your 3 offensive players, and you can throw another person up there who's going to have the speed, who's going to be able to quarterback a power play, who's going to be able to have great hockey IQ and great vision and be able to throw the puck around really quickly, you can't defend against that. And in the Olympics with the open ice, your defense is going to be tired, because you're going to have the extra 10 feet or the extra whatever it is to try and catch up to the players, and especially teams that are oversized. For instance, your big teams, like your hitting teams, your Team USA, for instance. Those teams are going to be tired running around if Canada's got a ton of speed.
But what you need to understand is that maybe they're not as skilled at the forward position as Team Canada might be, but they have elite defense. Okay? What I'm telling you right now, the Americans, the Finns, especially.
Finns are good.
Possibly the Swedes.
Sweden will be good.
Their defense will be much, much better in 2022 than Canada's. I'm telling you that right now. Their offensive firepower might not be up to par, but if Team Canada is going to win a gold medal, they're going to win a lot of games 2-1. And I'm being honest, like, they have Carey Price that's projected as the number 1 goaltender still.
Yeah, I saw that.
Carey Price, Carter Hart, and Binnington were the three
that I
goaltenders.
saw too, yeah. I don't think Carey Price will be part of that in 2 years.
I think Carey Price is going to have a resurgence with a workload management. Load management. Carey Price is going to extend his career and have and be better. They did get better on defense too in Montreal, so he's going to have he's got some years left. Don't worry about him. But I'm looking at the forward list as well, and nothing really, like, it's the same guys really, and it doesn't scare me. Like, they had John Tavares. The guy can't keep up anymore.
I saw that. Their big thing is Crosby, McDavid, McKinnon.
Yeah, so they're strong down the middle. Ryan O'Reilly playing fourth line center. Bergeron, he's going to be gone by then, guys. Like, I don't think Crosby makes the team in 2 years. I don't think Bergeron's going to be there. So 2 of your staples from previous years, Tavares, get out. Like,
well, they want to. I guess will the players want to? Crosby's already won the gold medal.
Yeah, Crosby doesn't need to go. He doesn't need to prove anything.
Does he need to go again? I don't know. I'm looking at a list of defensemen right now. You were talking about defensemen. I got Dougie Hamilton, Thomas Chabot, Morgan Rielly. They got Pietrangelo.
But look at the left side. They had Chabot as their number 1, Theodore, and then who was the other one?
I got Pietrangelo, Makar, Dougie Hamilton, Morgan Rielly.
Oh, Dougie Hamilton was on the left, I believe, as well. Pietrangelo, Makar, and Rielly all played
I like
right.
Dougie Hamilton. I think he's a good shutdown defenseman.
Okay, we shall see, but I'm just saying it's not years past where Team Canada is like, whoa, you know what I mean?
No,
like, those guys are just unreal.
But I mean, the hockey as a whole has gotten so much better. Look at the draft. Look at how many players they took from the draft that were from outside of Canada and the United States.
That was my next point we're getting to, is parity. Parity in the world of hockey, not just Canada and the NHL. There are teams that you really need to look out for. Canada will always be there. Obviously, I think they're going to medal, but will they win the gold? I don't think so, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't think they're set up on the back end, and maybe even in net with Carey and Carter Hart. Like, Carter Hart might be a flash, guys. Like, he's only been there for a year. And Jordan Binnington, again, a guy that had 1 year.
He's pretty inconsistent, I know.
So you're looking at the top 3 goalie candidates. One is aging, and the other 2 are very... I know they won a cup.
They're inconsistent at best. Yes.
Unproven on the long term, let's put it that way. And that's what we have to hang our hat on. But obviously, anything can happen. It's 2 years away. But the team I'm looking at right now doesn't say gold medal to me. It's filled with older guys. They finally got rid of guys like Claude Giroux and Taylor Hall and that. But it's still Connor McDavid. He's not a winner. He's not Crosby. I'm trying to tell people this. Like, if you have Connor McDavid slated in as your 1C, actually McKinnon was the 1C, which makes sense because he's the best player. But if you have Connor McDavid trying to take over a role of a guy like Crosby, like, that's not going to happen. Like, he's not going to lead you to the promised land. He's a career loser. That's what I'm trying to say.
Maybe in Edmonton he is. I think you move him to a different... You put Connor McDavid on a team like...
They had Steven Stamkos in the roster.
But you put a team... I know, I saw that too.
That's unbelievable.
They also had Taylor Hall too, right?
No, he wasn't on it.
The list I had, he was.
But, like, look at the glaring guys that were there, like Tavares, Stamkos.
Tavares, I don't understand why they would put Tavares on there.
Yeah, it's just...
But anyway, you put a Connor McDavid on a team like a Vegas... on a Colorado, on a Montreal. You mean to tell me that if he ever went to Montreal, you wouldn't be, like, buying season tickets for that?
No.
Oh, I bet.
Connor McDavid is all flash and no sizzle.
I bet you he can win in a team like Montreal or Colorado or Vegas.
So if you put him on a team that's already set to win, you think he can win? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, yeah, but he might be just the factor that gets them over the top.
Or he could have been what he was supposed to be, is the piece that... build around.
But they didn't do that in Edmonton. They didn't do that very well in Edmonton. Look at what Toronto did with around Austin Matthews and like they're the same team.
I get it. I get that they're not going to win. That's what I'm saying. Like, there are players in the league that in the future will say they never won, and he's going to be one of them.
You don't think you'll see Connor McDavid ever hoist a Stanley Cup?
Connor McDavid will never host a Stanley Cup. He doesn't have to. It's like the wrestling. Luke watches wrestling over here. So why do they not give the belt to some people? Because they don't need it, right? So Connor McDavid will go down as forever a legend because he never needed a Stanley Cup. He's a scoring champion, all that different stuff. So Roddy Piper never won a world title in the WWE or WWF because he was already over. He didn't need it. He didn't need the title to get him to the next level. He was already there. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no desire there. It's just like, I know I'm the best player, or he thinks he is. I'm the best player. I'm going to get paid anyways. Why get hurt? Might as well just play the rest of my career and, score lots of goals, whatever. There's no desire to win a cup there. I don't think so, anyways. Because if he truly desired to win a cup, he'd be out of Edmonton by now.
Well, yeah, but they also pay him out
He's getting paid regardless where he is.
I know.
Like I said, I've always said this: if the money's equal everywhere.
When does his contract end?
I think he's probably got 3-4 more years.
So do you think he'll re-sign at Edmonton?
No, I
don't
think
he will either. I think
it's going to be the Gretzky effect all over again. They're going to send him to where they need to sell tickets, which will be like maybe in LA or Chicago by then.
Get him out of Canada.
Get him out of Canada. Taylor Hall will never play another game in Canada once he leaves Edmonton. You can book it. You can book that, I'm telling you, if he leaves Edmonton. If they keep him for whatever reason, Taylor Hall never plays another game in Canada.
You mean McDavid? You mean McDavid?
Or sorry, yeah, McDavid.
Okay.
It's an interesting thing. Tell us what you think, anyways. We're just here, talking about things. But I don't like how Team Canada looks in 2022. If I had to pick with a gun to my head right now, I would say that because of the defense and just as not quite there with the offense, but I could see the Americans. The Americans always have a good Olympics every 8 to 12 years. They're definitely set up. They have some killer defensemen. The Americans are somebody to watch for. And then I'm also going to go out on a limb and say the Finns.
I was going to say the Finns too.
The Finns are
I'd say the Finns over the Americans. They just seem to have a good hockey program regardless. Junior program and their senior program.
The Finns are coming, folks. Germany is going to stir some people up. The team that's going to make the biggest fall, in my opinion...
Belarus.
Nope. Oh. Out of the medal round completely.
Russia?
Nope. Sweden. I don't really see anything from Sweden right now. They've got some good defensemen like Hedman and such. What's their goalie situation like? Lundqvist is done, basically. What's Sweden's goaltending situation going to look like? Markstrom. Is Markstrom a Finn? I can't remember.
I don't think he is he?
But anyways, those are the glaring issues for those teams anyways. It's always in net. But another team that hasn't really put out as many NHL caliber players lately is the Czechs. Russia keeps pumping out players, obviously, but you'll see a lot of the KHL players come in.
He's Swedish.
Markstrom is Swedish. I thought so. So they do have an okay goaltender there, but not along the lines of what they used to have with like a Lundqvist or.
Well, Russia's goalie, if
Samsonov.
Shesterkin,
sorry.
Shesterkin, but also the kid that they just drafted.
It'll be Shesterkin before it's the kid. The kid won't even be playing at an NHL.
I don't know. We have a couple of years before the Olympics. Like before they need to set a roster in the next year and a half. I think it is.
Like maybe Alexei Lafreniere scores 100 points in his rookie year. Like, how do you leave him off Team Canada?
Yeah.
Even if you bring him in as a winger, you know what I mean, instead of a center, because there's no room at center position anyways. Let's face it, they're all centers. Everybody on the list is basically a center.
A center, yeah.
So it's just one of those things. Players I don't want to see ever on Team Canada projection list anymore: Taylor Hall, Matt Duchene, John Tavares, Steven Stamkos. They can all hit the road. Those guys, their time is done. I don't want to see Joe Thornton's name. It won't happen anyways. But Logan Couture was a mainstay.
Yeah. Getzlaff.
Getzlaff's all done. Corey Perry,
Bobby
all
Ryan.
those guys, all of them. Bobby Ryan. No, Bobby Ryan's American.
Oh yeah, that's right. He just signed with Detroit, actually. I just remembered that he just signed with Detroit.
Yeah, so another free agent signing. But, yeah, this is the closing argument for Out of Bounds. What did you guys think of tonight's show? It is Turkey Day here in Canada, Columbus Day in the United States. Oh, I ate a lot of turkey.
I had turkey yesterday, and then my mom made turkey soup and brought it over just before the show.
What was in your turkey soup?
It has turkey, the egg noodles. It's got broccoli. It's got basil, cool. Oregano. Yeah, a bunch of stuff inside. Actually, there's enough of it. I can probably bring you some on Thursday.
No noodles, man. I'm back on my keto.
All right.
I'm back on my keto.
Should we tell everyone about the like your huge success story? Come on, are you kidding? It's a milestone.
No, not yet.
Just tell them what you're down. Don't give a number about what you're at. Tell them what you're down.
Like how many?
Yeah.
51 pounds since I started watching what I ate. So, yeah, it's all right. We'll get there.
That is fantastic. It's big news.
So, I knew something was off when my pants were falling down. But for those of you out there that struggle with weight, all I'm doing really, like I do like a keto light type thing. Very few carbs through the week, Monday to Friday, and then I still eat like crazy foods on the weekend, guys. I'll have. We just last week we went to Bangkok Cafe and had pad thai.
Yeah, cheater days.
Yeah, I don't call them cheater days. I just call them normal days. But yeah, I find the easiest thing. Breakfast is the easiest. Just don't eat your potatoes or your bread, and you're good. Everything else is good, like eggs, meat.
Are you on a consistent diet? Like every day you have the same thing?
So the way I do it, I'll go like 2 days and have like a hungry man breakfast just so I can have more meat.
Yep.
And then no potatoes, no bread. But I like getting 3 eggs, scrambled usually, because I just get annoyed because I want to dip my toast in the yolk if I have yolk, so I just get scrambled.
Well, that's a good way to get around
lunch usually like nothing. Lunch is usually like I'll eat peanuts or pepperettes or something like that. But supper is usually like veggies and meat. Usually don't stray from that too much. And there's plenty of options out there for people like trying to do like a keto. You can still eat sweet stuff, guys. Like you can buy no sugar added ice cream, and the ice cream sandwiches are actually better than the regular ones. You've had them, haven't you? Yeah, they're actually pretty good. So it's not like your life's over. It's just you try and watch what you eat. But Friday night rolls around, we go to Mike's Place, local restaurant. I had chicken wings. I had a sandwich there called a Nashville hot sandwich. It hurt. I'm not saying like my body didn't agree with it. Like it physically hurt to eat it. It was so hot. Like the roof of my mouth felt like someone, like you were getting a numbing, like when you go to the dentist and they numb your teeth.
Sounds awesome.
It felt like someone was shooting the Novocaine right into the roof of my mouth and like scratching me. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna hurt you, but bottom lip was completely on fire. So this is what it was. It was just a chicken sandwich. And she goes, I think they just roll it in suicide sauce. And I'm like, okay, I could probably handle that. So it comes out, it's got coleslaw on it on a pretzel bun. So I cut it in half because I don't want all the bun, right? Yeah. So I'm like, I'm going to eat half of this thing because I also had a foot of onion rings. And then I had a pound of chicken wings too. So I was like, I'm having some, like everything was fried. Like it wasn't a good night by any means. But, so I'm eating this thing and I'm like, holy shit, man. Like this thing is burning. Like we just got done eating Shanghai noodles at Bangkok the previous week, and it was nothing close to being as hot as this.
How does your body respond to that after being on nothing like that for the week?
It's fine.
It doesn't ever go into like
I've got like a cast iron stomach, man. Like it's just, but routine is big. So when I had to stay at the cottage for 3 weeks while they're doing renos on the apartment, that was really hard to keep routine. I kind of slipped, and then I can still see it too. I'm not eating a lot of bread, but like a little bit of potatoes here, a little bit of potato. Like I'm like my carb intake is probably 10 to 20% of what it used to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's really good. But Boombox, obviously one of our sponsors for our show. I ate like 4 flakies in the last 3 days, so that's not good. That's also a lot of sugar. So, but if you do it once in a while, it's not too bad. But I can't be on a diet like Brandon over here.
Mine's consistent all the time. all the time.
So you might be wondering, what do I eat for breakfast if I'm not having a hungry man? Because I said it's like 2 days on, and then I'll switch it up. So steel cut oats.
Okay.
So steel cut oats, you can get sugar-free jam. So what I like to do is Cindy makes my steel cut oats for me with sugar-free brown sugar.
Yep.
And I'll put a dollop?
Yep.
I'll put a dollop of sugar-free raspberry jam into it, and it basically tastes like a granola bar.
Okay.
It literally tastes like, what's that, I can't remember what the name of them are, but they're like the breakfast bar with the gel or the jam in the middle of them. I can't remember what they're called though.
Oh, the ones by
Nutri-Grain. That's it.
Yeah.
Nutri-Grain. It's basically like a Nutri-Grain bar in a bowl, and it's delicious. But it's slow release carb. It is carbs obviously, but steel cut oats, slow release carbs. So you can you don't need anything till lunch basically. You won't snack between lunch.
Yeah, mine's all consistent. I get up, I have my pre-workout as soon as I get up, and then it's like loaded with caffeine, so you get that nummy feeling from the beta-alanine in it, and then I have the steel cut oats. But mine are flavored. I just buy the flavored stuff because I'm going right to the gym. And I work out for an hour and a half.
Where do you get flavored steel cut oats?
I get them at
like, how are they flavored? Like
Sobeys.
Apple or?
No, it's blueberry cranberry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Cook it for a couple of minutes, blueberry cranberry, eat it up, boom, then I'm off to the gym, and then when I get back, it's always an egg sandwich. 2 eggs, 2 pieces of turkey bacon, cheese, and then English muffin, and that's it for the carbs for me for the day. And then I'm usually, if I'm snacking on peanut butter out of the jar. Like natural peanut butter out of the jar.
It sucks, folks, but it does work if you want to drop weight quickly. Obviously, here's the best advice you can get. Just eat in moderation and get a little bit of exercise. That should help.
It's true. All right.
But anyways, hopefully you guys liked Out of Bounds tonight, Episode 8, Return of the Jedi Sith, Yoda.
Something.
Yeah. But anyways, we are back Thursday night with Singles Night. If you haven't done so yet, hit us with a thumbs up. We had a few people on watching tonight. We realized it's a holiday. Viewership was down a little bit tonight. That's why we're not taking things really seriously either. We're having a little bit of fun tonight.
Except for the death talk.
The death talk was a little serious, but who's on your death list? Death
list. We're going to have a death pool.
Well, Deadpool.
We're going to have a Deadpool.
That's what Deadpool was about, yeah. Like, the older we get, the more our icons and heroes die. So it's a sad thing, but it is reality. Yeah. We hope to see you guys back next week for Out of Bounds. Pretty soon we have our specials coming up for the Mount Rushmore episode.
Yes.
And the Academy Awards of the best sports movies. We're going to get ready for that and announce those dates hopefully within the next little while. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Columbus Day. We'll see you guys on Thursday night for Singles Night. Everybody take care out there.
Bye, guys.